Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
What if every setback was secretly working in your favor? What if the struggles you face weren't holding you back, but shaping you for victory? And what if the difference between success and failure came down to one simple choice? Whether or not you act as if you were already destined to win. Most people panic when life turns against them. But the uncommon few, they trust the process. They step into storms already seeing themselves walking out on the other side. Why? Because when you act as if everything will work out, your focus sharpens, your fear shrinks, and your strength multiplies. You begin each day with certainty, declaring, "Today is already mine." Have you ever wondered how your life might change if you treated every opportunity as though it were meant for your good? Imagine if your thoughts spoke this language. Everything is unfolding for my benefit. Nothing is wasted. Every delay has direction. You are not a spectator in this life. You are a sculptor, and belief is your first tool. The world bends to those who move with certainty. You've seen it before. A man walks into a room, and without saying a word, the atmosphere shifts. People listen, not because he demands it, but because he carries the weight of his purpose. He doesn't act with arrogance, but with conviction, and that certainty is magnetic. It is not luck that opens doors, it is clarity and conviction. Most men tiptoe around their dreams, asking for permission. But power does not ask, it walks in. It declares its intent and says, "Watch me." Why does the world respond so differently to that kind of person? Because life mirrors your expectations. It's not your potential people recognize, it's your posture. And when you act as if everything is working out for you, you signal to the world that you are ready to receive. You become a force, like a signal tower, not broadcasting desperation, but assurance. You stop chasing outcomes and begin choosing them. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a new endeavor. It's risky, the answers aren't all clear, yet instead of shrinking back, you breathe deep and declare, "This will serve me. This will prosper." And so it does. How many dreams have you abandoned? Not because they failed, but because you doubted too soon. What would your life look like if you treated every goal as inevitable? If you walked with purpose instead of waiting for approval? You must become the kind of person who doesn't need the world's permission to believe in your own path. Act as if the outcome is already settled, and watch how life meets you halfway. Consistency is the proof of your commitment. A single act of courage can spark admiration, but it's steady action that builds trust, especially the trust you form with yourself. Discipline isn't just about rules or sacrifice. It is how you prove to your own soul that you mean what you say. It's the evidence that your words carry weight. Many are driven by bursts of emotion, fired up for a day or two, but true transformation comes not from a spark, but from rhythm. A steady rhythm, the daily pulse of devotion to something greater than comfort, greater than ease. Why does this matter? Because consistency shapes reputation, not only with the world, but with the one person who must believe in you above all, yourself. Every time you rise before the sun, choose the harder path, or follow through when it's inconvenient, you cast a vote for your identity. You declare, "I am who I said I would be." That integrity is rare, and it is priceless. It is the foundation upon which unshakable self-belief is built. Think of the blacksmith. His finest sword isn't created in one mighty strike, but in thousands. Blow after blow, heat, hammer, and repeat. Repetition shapes the steel, just as it shapes your soul, your skills, and your story. You don't need brilliance every day, you need faithfulness. Ask yourself, do your habits confirm your identity or contradict it? Do your actions align with your ambition or quietly mock it? Talk is cheap, but patterns reveal the truth. The one who acts as if everything works out doesn't stop when motivation fades. He doesn't quit when applause is absent. He keeps going, knowing the work itself is shaping the man. Even when results feel distant, even when no one notices, especially then. That is the secret. Don't seek occasional greatness. Seek daily faithfulness. True greatness isn't a single moment. It is built in the shadows, in quiet repetition, in the consistency most people never see. That's how legacies are born, not in bursts of brilliance, but in the courage to keep showing up. So show up today, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. And let that be enough. One faithful day becomes a faithful year. Faithful years build lives that cannot be shaken. You become what you prepare for, because preparation is faith in action. It is not passive hope, it is bold expectation. When you prepare, you're not just wishing for a better life. You are building it. Through your actions you declare, I am ready for what I have not yet received. Such readiness doesn't come from circumstances, but from conviction. You don't wait to be noticed. You don't wait to be chosen. You move as if your moment has already arrived. This isn't delusion, it's discipline. Preparation rewires your identity. It doesn't just change your results. It transforms who you are. The man who lifts iron daily is no longer a beginner. He becomes an athlete. The woman who writes before dawn is no longer an amateur. She becomes an author. She is an author. The line between becoming and being is crossed not through public recognition, but through private consistency. When you act as if everything already works out for you, you stop waiting for the stars to align. You become the force that aligns them. You don't wait for the perfect day. You build the perfect habit. You don't wait for permission. You give it to yourself. Preparation doesn't happen because doors are open, but because you believe they will open, and you want to be ready when they do. Picture a man with a dream of starting a business. If he waits for investors or approval, his dream slowly dies in delay. But if he starts now, learning, solving, designing, he is no longer a dreamer. He is a builder. Or imagine a young woman with the vision of becoming a teacher. Though she has no students yet, she studies, she practices, she finds small ways to teach. The world may not see her as a teacher, but she already is. So ask yourself, what habits today reflect the person you are becoming? Would a great leader sleep late and drift aimlessly? Or would he rise with purpose, knowing every step echoes into the future? Would a wise mentor waste time gossiping, or devote energy to learning and serving? Preparation is more than action. It is a mirror. It reflects who you truly believe yourself to be. So ask daily, are you preparing for your future or postponing it? Are your rituals aligned with your vision or chained to your fears? A man rehearsing greatness will not waste his morning in laziness. A woman preparing for excellence will not waste her evening in distraction. You are always rehearsing something. So make sure it's what you want to become, because you will become it. The future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who prepare. A seed planted in obscurity blooms in its season, but only if it's planted, watered, and tended with faith. Don't wait for life to choose you. Choose yourself. Practice for the crowd yet to come. Write for readers who don't exist yet. Prepare not because success is guaranteed, but because you are certain enough to act. That is faith. That is power. You become the future you rehearse today. So rehearse with excellence, with courage, and with expectation. Preparation ensures the future won't catch you off guard. It will find you ready. Resilience is built before the storm ever arrives. When the winds rise and the trials come, the unprepared collapse. But the one who has trained himself to expect triumph even in trial does not bend. He doesn't beg for calm. He becomes it. He is not at the mercy of the world. Most people are tossed around by conditions, their joy dictated by ease, their identity swaying with each challenge. But those built for greatness don't move with the mood of the moment. They anchor themselves to deeper truths. Greatness is not forged in comfort. It's revealed in adversity. The strongest trees don't grow in sheltered gardens. They drive their roots deep into the soil where the wind rages loudest, where the earth shakes, daring them to fall. They do not crumble, and neither should you. Live with the mindset that setbacks are part of the setup, that every fall is forging you, and adversity is not your enemy, but your assignment. Life does not arrive to break you. It comes to build you. You've seen this strength before. A man loses his job, yet still walks with his head high. Why? Because his dignity isn't tied to a title. A woman faces illness, but comforts others in her pain. Why? Because long ago she decided not to be a victim of circumstance, but a vessel of victory. What if you looked at every struggle and whispered, "Even this will serve me"? What if rejection became redirection? What if every closed door was simply proof that something better was being prepared behind it? You weren't born to crumble or retreat. You were born to rise. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing that within you lives a spirit stronger than the storm. Resilience isn't earned when life is easy. It's built when plans fall apart, when people leave, when nights grow long and answers are silent. In those moments, you realize you are not weak. You are becoming. Imagine if every loss became a lesson, every disappointment a doorway. How different would life look if you walked into adversity not with fear, but with faith? Faith that it is shaping you. Faith that it has a purpose. So, will you let pain write your story, or will you take the pen and write something greater with it? Don't run from hardship. Walk through it with the quiet confidence of a soul being refined, not ruined. Let others chase comfort. They do not crumble, and neither should you. Live with the mindset that setbacks are part of the setup, that every fall is forging you, and adversity is not your enemy, but your assignment. Life does not arrive to break you. It comes to build you. You've seen this strength before. A man loses his job, yet still walks with his head high. Why? Because his dignity isn't tied to a title. A woman faces illness but comforts others in her pain. Why? Because long ago she decided not to be a victim of circumstance, but a vessel of victory. What if you looked at every struggle and whispered, "Even this will serve me"? What if rejection became redirection? What if every closed door was simply proof that something better was being prepared behind it? You weren't born to crumble or retreat. You were born to rise. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing that within you lives a spirit stronger than the storm. Resilience isn't earned when life is easy. It's built when plans fall apart, when people leave, when nights grow long and answers are silent. In those moments, you realize you are not weak. You are becoming. Imagine if every loss became a lesson, every disappointment a doorway. How different would life look if you walked into adversity not with fear, but with faith? Faith that it is shaping you. Faith that it has a purpose. So, will you let pain write your story, or will you take the pen and write something greater with it? Don't run from hardship. Walk through it with the quiet confidence of a soul being refined, not ruined. Let others chase comfort. Every time you show up with discipline, you raise your value. Each moment you say no to mediocrity, you sharpen your edge. When you act as if everything is working out for you, it isn't arrogance, it's alignment with purpose. You stop apologizing for ambition. You stop explaining dreams to those who cannot see beyond the present. You walk tall, speak with clarity, and move forward with the calm confidence of someone who has already counted the cost and is willing to pay it. Consider this. What if your current results are not proof of your limits, but proof of your standards? What if your life is not stuck, but simply plateaued at the level of your expectations? Raise those expectations and watch everything else rise with them. Your income, your relationships, your inner peace, they all reflect what you project. Excellence is never about impressing others. It's about honoring your potential. When you raise the bar on your habits, sharpen your focus, refine your schedule, and strengthen your discipline, you begin to attract a new reality. Opportunities stop passing you by. People stop overlooking you. Your standard itself commands attention. But let's be honest. Are you living beneath your potential because you fear being seen? Do you dim your light because you worry how others will respond to its shine? Remember this. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to build, to shape, to lead. And leaders don't shrink, they rise. The market, whether in money, respect, or opportunity, pays what you demand. But it listens first to what you demand of yourself. So demand more focus, more consistency, more resilience. Do not ask the world to value you more if you have not shown that you value yourself first. This is not about pride, but principle. The principle that you are the thermostat of your destiny, not the thermometer of your conditions. You set the tone, you raise the heat, and the world must rise to meet it or be left behind. So raise your standard. Speak less, execute more, dream bigger, prepare harder, and never settle for a level you have already outgrown. The ceiling you challenge today becomes the floor you stand on tomorrow. Don't just wish for more, become more. The world is watching, and it always rewards those who dare to raise the price. Gratitude is the language of expectation. When you give thanks for what has not yet arrived, you send a powerful message to life itself. I trust it is already on the way. Gratitude at its highest form is not just a reaction to goodness. It is a prophecy, a declaration made in advance, a handshake with destiny before the appointment begins. It is faith in action, wrapped in thankfulness. Anyone can be grateful when the harvest is in, when the table is full, when prayers appear answered. But what about the one still waiting, still working, still walking through uncertainty? If that person can say thank you before the evidence appears, they hold the kind of strength that moves mountains. Because their gratitude is not based on comfort in the moment, but certainty in the future. Gratitude changes you. It shifts the atmosphere of your mind. Instead of obsessing over what is missing, you begin to see what is already present. You lift your gaze from scarcity to sufficiency, from worry to worship. And as your vision expands, so does your posture. You begin to walk taller, speak with calm assurance, wait with patience, and work with quiet strength. Imagine rising tomorrow with gratitude, not only for the strength you already carry, but also for the wisdom yet to come and the breakthroughs waiting to unfold. What kind of person would you be? What kind of courage would guide you? You would not wake in fear. You would rise in faith. Gratitude is never passive. It is the voice of someone aligned with their calling. It does not whisper doubt. It declares promise. It boldly affirms that what you seek is already seeking you. In that alignment, doors begin to open, paths become clear, and provision flows. Not because life suddenly gets easier, but because your spirit grows stronger. Think about it. When you thank the heavens in advance, your actions naturally follow. You prepare differently. You expect differently. You treat every hour as though it carries the seeds of something sacred, because it does. The future is shaped in these moments. In morning prayers, in unseen sacrifices, in words of gratitude whispered in silence. To live this way is to become magnetic to blessings. You stop chasing favor. It starts being drawn to you. Gratitude creates gravity, and gravity attracts the right things, the right people, and the right moments into your orbit. But this requires a choice. Will you walk through your day bowed by disappointment and doubt, or rise with the certainty of someone who knows they are already equipped for more? You can either walk burdened by anxiety, or walk like someone already blessed. Head high, eyes forward, hands open. One posture invites fear. The other invites miracles. Speak your gratitude now, not for what has already arrived, but for what is being prepared. Thank the heavens for wisdom not yet learned, victories not yet claimed, and strength not yet required. This is not fantasy, it is faith. The universe responds to those who move with certainty, and certainty is born from gratitude. Live today not in reaction, but in revelation. See your life not as lacking, but as loading. Give thanks for what is coming with the calm authority of someone who knows their destiny is already theirs. And it is only a matter of time until it arrives. Energy flows where attention rests, and what you focus on expands. This is not just a mental trick, it is a law of life. Fix your eyes on problems, and they grow, casting shadows over your choices. Fix your vision on possibility, and walls turn into doors. Understand this. Attention is power, and power multiplies whatever it touches. A man focused on defeat becomes a prisoner of fear, but a man focused on opportunity becomes the architect of solutions. The same challenge, the same moment, can create entirely different outcomes depending on where you place your gaze. That is why those who act as if everything always works out often discover that it does. Not because of luck, but because they've trained themselves to search for light in the tunnel. They don't look for reasons to stop, but for reasons to start. They expect every trial to bring growth, and that expectation creates momentum. Why does this matter? Because your mind is a loyal servant. It doesn't question the orders you give, it fulfills them. Feed it fear, and it will find you more reasons to fear. Feed it scarcity, and it will convince you to cling to what little you have. But feed it vision, true, compelling, courageous vision, and it will conspire with grit and boldness to move you forward. Picture yourself standing in a forest at night. Two trails lie ahead. One is rocky, thorn-filled, and clearly difficult. The other is veiled in mist, uncertain but glimmering with possibility. Most people freeze, waiting for clarity before they move. But you must believe the path becomes visible as you walk, that the right steps appear not before, but because you move. What have you been staring at lately? What fears have you fed until they grew into giants? What dreams have you dismissed? Not because they were impossible, but simply because they weren't yet clear. Every focus is a seed. Over time, what you feed is what you grow. Fix your thoughts on setbacks, and you become defined by them. Fix your thoughts on strength, and even your weakness becomes training. Your vision becomes your compass, and your belief the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to go. Focus is not denial, it is direction. It doesn't ignore reality. It magnifies the part of reality you choose. Will you spend your energy reinforcing fears or rehearsing your future? Shift your focus, and you shift your fate. See problems as invitations. See obstacles as opportunities to prove your strength. Let your thoughts dwell not on what has ended, but on what is beginning. You have more power than you realize, not always in changing your circumstances, but in changing the way you see them. And when your eyes lock on growth, on vision, on possibility, everything else begins to follow. The path you seek is never revealed to the hesitant. It belongs to the bold. So fix your eyes on where you're going, not on what you fear, and walk forward. The trail will meet you. Silence is where the architecture of clarity is built. There is always a sacred hush before the world awakens, a sliver of stillness before the noise, the demands, and the voices of the day. In that space, your mind stands uncluttered. It is there, in the quiet, that truth waits to be heard. The man who acts as if everything will work out begins his day not by reacting, but by receiving. He doesn't rush to emails or complaints. He doesn't wake under the weight of yesterday. Instead, he checks in with his purpose, aligning with his identity. His first appointment is not with the world, but with himself. Why is this so powerful? Because clarity is rare, and where clarity is absent, confusion rules. Yet clarity is the soil where conviction grows, and conviction, not circumstance, decides your direction. A man can be given tools, but without clarity, he will build someone else's dream. A man with no time to think has no time to lead. Now imagine giving yourself just 20 minutes each morning. Not to rush, not to scroll, not to fill the silence, but to sit in it. To breathe, to listen, to write, and to ask, what matters most today? What would make today meaningful? How will you show up not just as a worker, but as a warrior of purpose? You begin to realize that clarity is not a luxury. It is a strategy. It isn't peace for the sake of peace. It is peace as a platform. From silence, decisions are born. From stillness, strength rises. The man who commands his thoughts before they command him becomes the builder of his days, not their victim. In that quiet space, you do more than plan, you prepare. You do more than review. You rehearse the person you are becoming. Each morning becomes a rehearsal for the life you intend to live. You are no longer guessing. You are guiding. You are not waking up to someone else's script. You are writing your own. Think of the advantage this brings. While others wake to chaos, you rise in calm. While they chase noise, you walk with knowing. You are no longer searching for alignment. You are anchored in it. The man who remains still while others scatter always makes sharper decisions. He sees with a longer lens, speaks with a measured voice, and leads with a centered heart. This is why you must protect your mornings, not just for productivity, but for power, preparation, and clarity. The most dangerous man is not the one who moves fast, but the one who moves deliberately. And deliberate movement begins with deliberate mornings. Do not fear silence. Enter it. Practice it. Invite it like an old friend. For it is in silence that your next step becomes clear. It is in silence that greatness is whispered before it is ever shouted. It is where intention is set long before results appear. Let the world chase noise. You chase necessity. Let others drown in distraction while you rise and design. When you begin your day in clarity, you don't just live differently, you lead differently. You don't merely work harder, you work wiser. You stop reacting to life and start writing it, one still morning at a time. The identity you choose shapes the life you build. Success never happens by accident. No mountain is climbed by drifting upward, and no legacy is built by luck. True success comes through alignment, deliberate, conscious, and consistent alignment between who you are and where you are going. Each day, in small and often invisible ways, you cast a vote for your future or against it, not by chance, but through identity. A man who believes he is chosen for greatness doesn't move like the world owes him something. He moves as though he owes the world his best. He rises early, not out of obligation, but because his vision demands it. He speaks with purpose, not for applause, but because his words shape reality. He holds himself to a higher standard. Not because others expect it, but because he expects it of himself. And here is the truth. You cannot consistently outperform your self-image. If you believe you are average, your results will always echo that belief, no matter how hard you try to pretend otherwise. If you believe you are built for more, designed to lead, to grow, to conquer, your actions will naturally follow. Most people wait. They wait for proof, for the world to crown them. But those anchored in identity don't wait. They move forward, knowing a man is not shaped by circumstances, but revealed through them. Picture yourself standing before the mirror. Don't ask what you must do today. Ask who you must be. Would a man of wealth complain about temporary lack? Would a man of wisdom waste time in gossip? Would a man of honor delay the task he knows must be done? When you live from identity, discipline feels natural. Focus becomes instinct. Action is no longer forced. It flows as the expression of who you already believe yourself to be. This is the shift from pressure to power, from effort to ease. But have you truly defined who you are? Or are you letting the past, your pain, or the opinions of others write it for you? Too many people wear labels handed down by failure or fear. Your identity must not be inherited, it must be designed. Because identity is your compass. It points to your future long before your feet arrive. When distractions surround you, when storms of doubt threaten to push you off course, it is not feelings or emotions that keep you steady. It is your identity. The unshakable belief, this is who I am. Choose it, shape it, guard it, and live in alignment with it. Walk like the person you claim to be. Speak like the man you say you are becoming. Lead with the weight of your calling resting firmly on your shoulders. The world does not respond to desperation, but to identity. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And who you are is not left to chance, it's forged by choice. So make that choice daily, every morning, every hour. Each time you feel tempted to slip back into old patterns, remind yourself, that's no longer me. You are not here by accident. You are not here to blend in. You are here to become. Life follows identity. So lead from the front and ensure the man in the mirror knows who is in charge. Faith is proven through action, not emotion. The man who says he believes but never moves is not a believer. He's a dreamer. Dreams may be beautiful, but they do not build empires. True belief puts on boots. It walks, it speaks, it dares, it decides. Faith without action isn't faith at all, it's fantasy. To act as if everything always works out for you doesn't mean ignoring hardship. It doesn't mean pretending life is perfect or free of problems. It means moving forward anyway. It means staring uncertainty in the eye and declaring, "You will not stop me." While others wait, you act. While others shrink, you stand. And why is this so vital? Because the space between vision and victory is never crossed by good intentions alone. The gap between desire and destiny is not crossed by dreams, but by movement. The bridge is built with action, bricks of discipline, mortar of persistence, steps taken in faith. Hope alone may spark the fire, but it cannot sustain it. It is action, steady and consistent, that keeps the flame alive. Action turns invisible prayers into visible progress. You must do more than desire. Think of the farmer. He doesn't wait for clouds before preparing the soil. He doesn't sit on the porch hoping for a sign. He tills the ground, plants the seed, sharpens the tools, and clears the field. He acts, not because the rain has come, but because he believes it will. That is faith in motion, belief with muscle. So ask yourself, are you waiting for perfect clarity before stepping forward? Are you telling yourself you need a sign, a guarantee? If so, you may be mistaking hesitation for wisdom. True wisdom says, take the step that creates certainty. Move, and direction will follow. Faith is not a mood. It's not something you feel only when conditions are right. Faith is a decision, a quiet, steady resolve renewed each morning with every choice you make, every workout you complete, every page you write, every door you knock. You don't need to feel ready to begin. You don't need to know the outcome to take the first step. You only need to trust that forward is better than stillness, that becoming is better than waiting, that risk is better than regret. Because your life is already declaring what you believe. Your habits are a sermon. Your actions are a declaration. They reveal whether you truly trust your vision or only speak of it. So stand, walk, decide. Let your calendar reflect your confidence. Let your preparation match your prayers. Let your steps prove that you trust the road will rise to meet you. You were not built to sit still or live only in theory. You were made to move toward what matters, toward what's next, toward the life waiting for your yes. Faith is not loud or flashy. It is often quiet, often unseen, but it always moves. Let your life show what you believe, and let your next step be your loudest amen. Speak only what you seek, because words are never harmless. They are seeds. Every sentence you release carries the power to plant either possibility or poison. Like a farmer scattering grain, your words take root, first in your mind, then in your actions, and even in the beliefs of those who hear you. With time and repetition, they grow. The man who trusts that all things work for his good doesn't waste breath narrating fears. He doesn't rehearse failure or amplify doubt. Instead, he speaks of his aim and the principles guiding him. His language is intentional, not careless. He knows the tongue directs the path, that words are not just communication, but declarations of belief, and belief shapes results. When you speak of limits, you give them power. You hand them a voice, a home, and a future. But when you speak of strength, vision, and purpose, you awaken those very forces within. They rise from the background to the forefront of your life. Remember, you are the first to hear your voice. Your mind, that loyal servant, listens to every phrase you repeat. Speak long enough of how hard life is, and your mind will keep you in hardship. Speak often of possibility, and it will begin to search for solutions. Most men do not fail from lack of talent or opportunity. They fail because of the endless stream of negative self-talk. They rehearse every mistake, every excuse, every imagined disaster until failure becomes fluent, and success sounds like a foreign language they no longer understand. But imagine this. For 1 week, you speak only of the outcome you desire. No complaints, no apologies for your ambition, no dwelling on obstacles, only vision, values, and victory. How might that shift not just your mindset, but your actions? Your words are the blueprint of your belief. The sentences you repeat become the script of your life. So ask yourself, what story are you telling? Is your language shaping the man you're becoming, or burying him under excuses? Speak as if your words build your world, because they do. Speak not only of what is, but of what will be. Describe your future as though it is already unfolding. Declare strength even in weakness. Proclaim peace even under pressure, and speak your direction aloud. In doing so, you align yourself with forward motion. Choose your vocabulary as carefully as a sculptor chooses his tools, not with haste, but with vision. A careless strike can shatter the masterpiece. A deliberate one shapes it. Let every word that leaves your mouth be a tool, not a trap, a builder of confidence, not a destroyer of hope. Speak with the calm conviction of one who expects life to cooperate, not because it always will, but because you always will. Your persistence, your words, and your alignment create results where others only meet resistance. This isn't delusion, it's design. It isn't pretending, it's preparing. You're setting the tone, leading your life from the inside out. So before you speak, pause and ask, am I planting poison or possibility? Then choose to speak as the person you were born to become. Because words spoken with purpose don't just echo, they create. Procrastination, however, is the thief of your inheritance. Every delay robs you of something precious. Time doesn't slam the door when it leaves. It slips away quietly, carrying with it the opportunities you once swore you would pursue. Acting as if everything works out for you doesn't mean waiting for fate to deliver perfection. It means refusing to hesitate when the moment arrives, because perfection is a myth. Momentum is real, and it rewards those who begin. The danger of procrastination lies in its disguise. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It tells you to wait a little longer, to prepare more, to think it through again. It sounds wise, even feels smart, but beneath the mask is fear. Fear of failure, of judgment, of responsibility. Delay convinces you it is safety, but in truth, it's the most dangerous place of all. You've heard it countless times. One day I'll begin. One day I'll start the business. One day I'll write the book. One day I'll get serious. But one day isn't real. It's not on any calendar. It is a graveyard where dreams go to die, a quiet tomb where potential is buried with full hearts and empty hands. Imagine a craftsman with vision, tools, and talent. Yet he tells himself the timing isn't right, so he waits. Days turn into years. Years fade into silence. His workshop stays spotless, his tools untouched, and the world never sees what he could have created because he confused preparation with postponement. Have you done the same? Have you disguised hesitation as caution? Buried your boldness beneath the blanket of more time? Here is the hard truth you must face. You don't own the future. You aren't guaranteed next year, next month, or even tomorrow. What you do own is this moment, this hour. And if you seize it like the treasure it is, the future begins to bend in your direction. Urgency is not panic, it is purpose. It is the realization that life will not wait for you to be ready. It is already moving, and you must move with it. Every step you take weakens the voice of fear. You rewrite your identity. You stop being the man who waits and start becoming the man who builds. To act as if everything works out for you is to trust that progress attracts provision, that motion creates clarity, and that you don't need all the answers to take the next right step. Rewards do not come to those who pause endlessly, but to those who dare repeatedly. So don't wait for conditions to be perfect. Don't ask the clock for permission. Begin. Begin messy. Begin uncertain, even with trembling hands. But begin. Because starting is not the opposite of strategy. It is the foundation of it. You are not powerless. You are not lost. You are only one decision away from movement, and movement is all momentum ever asks for. So stand up, pick up the tool, open the notebook, make the call. Whatever it is, do it now. Let this be the day when the graveyard of one day is replaced by the garden of this day. Today is all you own, and if you use it well, tomorrow will serve you. Remember, your environment is never neutral. The people you walk with act as compasses, pointing you either toward greatness or away from it with every word, every interaction. Your surroundings are not just a backdrop. They are a vote for the kind of man you believe you are. A man who expects success does not linger in circles of doubt. He chooses company that speaks life, people who talk vision, not gossip, people who push him forward, not hold him back. He aligns with those who remind him of who he is becoming, not who he once was. Why does this matter? Because your surroundings suggest what's normal, and your mind soon mirrors that belief. If your circle settles for mediocrity, you'll start seeing excellence as extreme. If your space is filled with distractions, focus becomes a stranger. Think of a seed. Planted in rich soil, watered daily, soaking up sunlight, it grows. Even slowly, it still rises. But plant that same seed in dry, crowded dirt, neglected and shaded, and it suffocates. The seed never changed. The potential remained, but the environment shaped the outcome. So ask yourself, who is watering your potential? Who challenges you to rise? Who drains your energy, sows doubt, or pulls you off course? Are your spaces designed for excellence, or breeding grounds for comfort and complacency? Every man must inspect his environment like a builder inspects his foundation. Is it strong? Is it stable? Can it carry the weight of your vision? No matter how ambitious your dream, it cannot thrive in soil that does not support it. The right company does not flatter you. They sharpen you. They won't let you shrink. They call you out when you drift. They ask the hard questions. They see your future and refuse to let you settle for less. That kind of influence isn't always easy, but it is essential. Choose your surroundings as carefully as you choose your words. Curate your space. Guard your circle, because these are not passive things, they are powerful forces. They will either sustain your belief, nurture your growth, and fuel your ambition, or slowly starve it until your goals feel too heavy to carry. Be relentless about this, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. The man you are becoming cannot afford to be planted in shallow soil. Walk with the wise, build with the focused, stand with the brave, and you will become like them. Your environment is speaking, so make sure it speaks your future. Vision without labor is a lie. It is easy to imagine a better life, to sit in stillness and picture success, peace, and fulfillment. But imagination alone will never make it real. Dreams without action turn into sweet poison. They fill you for a moment, then leave you starving. A man can starve for years on vision alone. The one who truly believes that all things work out doesn't just daydream. He puts his hands to the task. His belief is not just spoken. It is proven. His vision is not a wish. It is an assignment. He sees the end with clarity, then humbly begins the beginning. And why does this matter? Because labor is love in motion. Talk is noise, but action is commitment. Every swing of the hammer, every sentence on the page, every hour refining your craft. This is belief translated into movement. It is one thing to say you believe, but it is another to build like you do. Imagine meeting a man who claimed he would one day cross the ocean, yet every time you see him, he stands on the shore. No boat built, no oars carved, no sails stitched, just more words. Would you call him a visionary, or would you call him stuck? And how many chase greatness while keeping their hands idle? What about you? What is one task, one small act, that could bring your vision to life today? Not the whole plan, just one brick laid, 1 hour of focused effort. Have you delayed because the dream feels too big, or because your discipline has grown too small? Vision must spill into action. The picture in your mind must take shape in the real world. Not someday, not when it's easy, but today. Every castle you see in your mind can be built, but only if you're willing to sweat for it. There is dignity in doing, strength in starting. Each completed task is a vote for the man you are becoming. Stop feeding your future with empty intention and start feeding it with action. Your dream is not a fantasy, it is a blueprint. But blueprints don't build, builders do. And if you are willing, you can build what others only imagine. One brick, one step, one move forward. Turn belief into labor and labor into legacy. Fear is not a stop sign, it is a signal. It's not your enemy, but your compass, marking the edge of comfort, the line between who you are and who you could become. It doesn't rise to stop you. It rises to show you where the stretch begins. And beyond that stretch lies your expansion. The man who acts as if everything always works out is not fearless. He simply refuses to wait for fear to disappear before moving. He walks with it, acts through it, and understands fear is not a command. It is a clue, a whisper pointing to where growth hides. Why is this mindset a turning point? Because most men misread fear. They see it as a barrier instead of a beacon. They treat its presence as a reason to retreat, when in reality, it often marks the very door they were meant to walk through. The life they long for waits on the other side, but too often they stop at the threshold. Picture a soldier standing before a massive gate. Behind it lies his freedom, his future, his destiny. His heart pounds, his legs tremble, and the unknown looms large. Yet he lifts the latch, not because he feels brave, but because he chooses to be. That is courage, not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Fear has only one function. It reveals. It shows you what matters most, where you are called to grow. The greater the fear, the greater the potential reward, if you refuse to let it dictate your direction. So ask yourself, what have you left undone because of fear? What project? What leap? What conversation still waits because fear stood in the way? What opportunities has fear stolen that were meant to elevate you? And what if, just beyond that fear, your breakthrough is waiting? Your next chapter, your higher level? Do not make comfort your compass. It will only lead you in circles, keeping you safe but small. Instead, let conviction be your guide. Let your values, your purpose, your vision lead the way. Fear may visit, but it does not have to stay. And it never deserves to drive. Courage is a choice, one you renew every time you hear fear's voice and still take the next step. Over time, that choice becomes a habit, and that habit becomes identity. You stop seeing yourself as a man who avoids risk and start becoming a man who walks through fire to find gold. Fear is loud, yes, but it is never lasting. It shouts at the start, then fades the moment you act. Action silences fear faster than logic ever could. Let fear point the way, but never hand it the key. Let it inform, but never decide. Because when fear becomes your compass, it will always lead you only to the edge. And the edge, that is where transformation lives. Your standards speak louder than your words. You can tell the world you value excellence, honor, or ambition, but the world does not believe what you say. It believes what you tolerate. Your actions carry a volume your words can never match, and your standards are the clearest voice you own. The man who expects the best outcome does not settle for less. He refuses to make peace with mediocrity. He carries himself with dignity, disciplines himself in the dark, and moves forward even when the path feels steep. He does not demand respect. He commands it by the way he lives. His standard becomes his signal, known without speeches, felt through the weight of his expectations and his actions. Why is this so vital? Because your life does not rise to your dreams. It rises or falls to the level of your minimums. The baseline you accept sets the ceiling you will never exceed. What you allow, you endorse. What you overlook, you invite. Over time, these allowances shape your reputation, your results, and ultimately, your reality. Think of the craftsman. He builds with intention, not accident. He rejects every flawed board. He measures twice, polishes each edge with care. He doesn't hope for excellence, he ensures it. His standard is not a slogan, It is a method, a legacy carved into wood and finish. That level of craftsmanship is rare, and it is remembered. So ask yourself, have you lowered your standard to match your mood? Have you let emotions dictate your excellence? Or are you holding the line even when no one watches, no one applauds, and no one seems to care? Excellence is never occasional. It is not a performance. It is a habit, a mindset, a line etched in stone. To elevate your life, you must first raise your minimums. In speech, do you honor truth or indulge in gossip? In thought, do you rehearse strength or recycle doubt? In time, do you spend it with focus or waste it in distraction? You cannot speak of greatness and then marry mediocrity. You cannot live like everyone else and expect to lead them. You cannot flirt with low standards and then wonder why your life feels heavy. Your standard is your foundation, and if that foundation is cracked, nothing you build will endure. You teach others how to treat you not with arguments or explanations, but through your example, through what you accept, the energy you allow, the boundaries you set, and the effort you bring. Let your life be so sharp, so focused, so refined that compromise feels foreign. Let those who meet you understand instantly. This is a man who lives by code, one who does not waver in chaos, one who does not bend for convenience. This is not about pride, but principle. The principle that everything you build begins with what you believe, and what you believe is revealed through what you tolerate. So inspect your life, review your patterns, raise your standard, and never apologize for it. Because the world is watching, but more importantly, you are watching. Make sure the man in the mirror is not just a dreamer, but one who demands enough of himself to achieve those dreams. Let your standard speak, and let it be undeniable. Your future is listening. Every choice you make today sends a message forward. It is never isolated, never meaningless. Each decision is a signal, a command, a blueprint. It tells your future what to prepare, what to deliver, and what to expect. The man who walks with the belief that all things work for his good does not treat this lightly. He knows that every decision today is a conversation with his destiny. He does not waste his hours, but uses them as letters to a future version of himself. A version he respects, a version he is building. Why is this so empowering? Because it removes excuses. It silences the myth that fate holds the pen. No, you hold it. Every action, every habit, every pattern is ink on the pages of your future. You are not waiting for destiny. You are writing it. And this truth leaves no room for blame. It destroys the illusion of helplessness. You are not a passenger in life's vehicle. You are the one at the wheel. And the road you're driving is paved with the bricks of today's choices. Imagine 10 years from now, the man you will become steps into your room. He carries your name and your face, but with more wisdom, more clarity, more consequence. What will he say when he looks at you? Will he thank you for your discipline? Will he honor your sacrifices? Or will he ask with sorrow, why did you stop when it mattered most? That meeting grows closer with every passing day, and each hour you live now shapes how that man will stand. Will he rise tall with peace and pride, or will he bear the weight of wasted time? You are never drifting. You are always directing. Each hour used wisely is a seed planted in the soil of tomorrow, while each compromise is a weed that threatens its roots. So speak well to your future through action, through order, through intention. Let the man you are becoming inherit a field rich with preparation, not one overrun with regret. Let him find doors you built, not walls you ignored. This does not mean you must be perfect. It means you must be purposeful, choosing what aligns over what appeases, trading the comfort of now for the calling of later. Your habits are not just routines. They are declarations that say, this is who I am becoming. Your calendar is not just a schedule. It is a contract. It proves what you prioritize. So choose wisely. Eat with discipline. Speak with intention. Work with focus. Rest with purpose. Live as if the man you are becoming is watching, because he is. And he hopes you won't forget that greatness is not found in one massive moment, but in millions of quiet choices. Your future self is listening. What are you telling him with your actions today? Let every answer be worthy of his gratitude. Build with care, live with sharpness, and speak to tomorrow with the language of excellence. Because one day, you will meet, and you'll want it to be a joyful reunion. The enemy of greatness is not always failure. It is indecision. It rarely screams. It doesn't announce itself with alarms. It whispers softly, persistently. Wait until you're certain. Wait until you're sure. But certainty is not the beginning of success. It is the result, the harvest of courageous action taken before all the answers were clear. The man who acts as if everything always works out for him does not linger in the waiting room of indecision. He moves. He chooses. He decides with clarity, not because he knows everything, but because he understands one essential truth. Action refines thought, not the other way around. Why is decision so powerful? Because it slices through the fog of fear. It shifts possibility into the reality of momentum. A clear decision is the first brick laid on the path from idea to experience. It is the spark that transforms vision into movement. Picture a captain lost at sea. The skies are gray, the map unclear, the winds inconsistent. Yet he must chart a course. He cannot wait for the waves to calm or the stars to align. He must move. Even if correction is needed later, movement is life. Indecision is drift, and drift over time becomes death. Now ask yourself honestly, what are you delaying right now? What decision have you left unfinished, unspoken, untouched? What corner of your life remains stagnant because you've been waiting for a perfect signal? You don't need a guarantee to move. You need direction. You need a decision. And once a decision is made, something shifts. The moment you choose, the universe responds. The fog begins to lift, doors open, people appear, and resources align. Not because the world was waiting, but because you were. The instant you moved, life moved with you. Confidence isn't born from contemplation. It is forged in motion. Each step forward, each risk taken builds trust in your ability to face what comes. Clarity does not precede commitment. It follows it. So stop waiting for a sign. Be the sign. Be the one who chooses boldly. Understand that correcting your course is far easier than breaking free from stagnation. Be the one who moves, even through doubt. A decision is not just an action, it is a declaration. It says, I trust my strength more than my fear. I value progress more than perfection. Like a river carving through stone, steady, strong, unstoppable, let your choices shape your life. Let them bring rhythm to your days, discipline to your hours, and purpose to your steps. Decide and don't look back. Not because every choice will be flawless, but because each one will draw you closer to who you are meant to be. Life rewards movement, so move. Life respects clarity, so decide. Your future isn't waiting for more information, it's waiting for you. Believe that life bends in your favor. Begin now. Speak as if the outcome is certain. Move as if success is already promised. The world reflects your inner expectation, so act as if everything always works out for you. Because when you do, life begins to trust your commitment. Start creating your proof today. Wishing you health, happiness, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily.